How did Sania Mirza happen?
We have to ask my parents, don't we?
And you.
No, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Then I'll get into the answer. It's a pleasure always being here, and it's a pleasure being here for Boria, who's a very dear friend, like he said. I'm always in awe of how he can speak so many words all together without saying or ah, even for a second. So, yeah, thanks for having me here. Sania Mirza happened... she didn't happen overnight. She happened over a period of many, many years, many, many hours. And honestly, there was never really a moment where we just sat and said, okay, from today we're going to become a professional tennis player. It was a journey that we were on as a family, and against a lot of odds, obviously against us at that point, where there was absolutely zero belief in the fact that Sania Mirza or a Sania Mirza could happen at that point. And that's how we sort of took pride in every small achievement that happened, whether that was an under 10 state title, or whether that was a club match, or whether that was an under 14 state win. And and then over time, we just sort of realized that maybe she's actually good at what she's doing. And and then we kind of took it more seriously when I was about 12 or 13.
Nikhat, similar story. I mean, very similar backgrounds and same city. Can you tell my audience, and this is about storytelling, when you first took to boxing and your mother, that whole story about your mother, and now she sort of screams mar mar at every time you fight, but that same story, Nikhat Zareen becoming a boxer when your father took you to that little training academy in Hyderabad. Nikhat Zareen.
Firstly, good afternoon to everyone, and I would like to wish happy birthday to Boria sir. Today is birthday. And so basically I started boxing in 2009. I come from a small district called Nizamabad. So there, I was into athletics, and as there were no proper stadiums and tracks, so I used to go along with my dad, and my dad used to help me see my timings and all that. And there I have seen girls in every sport except boxing. तो मैंने casually I asked my father, पापा boxing बस लड़के ही कर सकते हैं क्या, लड़कियाँ नहीं? Then my father replied, नहीं बेटा, boxing लड़कियाँ भी कर सकती है, but हमारी society में लोगों को लगता है कि लड़कियों में इतना दम नहीं है ऐसे sport take up करने. तो then I said, अरे पापा, फिर मैं करके दिखाऊंगा, and I'll prove everyone wrong that no girls can also do boxing. And I'm the first girl to start boxing in Nizamabad district. And I remember I had my first sparring session with a guy. तो उसने मुझे बहुत मारा था, तो मेरी नाक में से खून निकलने लग गया था, and my eye got lot of bruises. और मैं ऐसे ही घर चले गई. And when my mom saw me in that situation, she started crying, and she told me, बेटा मैंने boxing में तुझे इसीलिए नहीं डाला कि तेरा चेहरा खराब हो जाए. अगर तुझे कुछ हो जाएगा तो तेरे से शादी कौन करेगा? Then I said, अरे अम्मी आप टेंशन काहे को ले रहे, नाम होगा तो दूल्हों की लाइन लग जाएगी. And अभी if I get any bruises or any hurt, वो बस बोलते हैं कि कोई बात नहीं बेटा, आइस लगा लो, ठीक हो जाएगा. So मतलब it feels nice to see कि मेरी मम्मी की सोच कहाँ से कहाँ बदली है. So that's my story. कि starting में लोग बोलते थे कि लड़की है, शॉर्ट वॉट पहनना अलाउ नहीं है हमारी कम्युनिटी में, बट माई फादर ऑलवेज स्टूड बिसाइड मी, एंड ही ऑलवेज फॉट विथ अदर्स, एंड आज जो भी हूँ जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ माई पेरेंट्स.
Sania, there are many mothers in this audience, many mothers. I mean, again, you've defied every time society has asked you a question, trolls have asked you a question, you've given it back. I mean, 26 kilos you shed after motherhood, and we all followed you. Each one felt inspired, man, woman. Can you tell us that story? I mean, to come back after motherhood, and then Izhan there in Australian Open, coming to the stadium, making a Grand Slam final in your last Grand Slam. Sania Mirza.
I think that for me, one of my motivations, I won't say the only motivation, but a very big part of my comeback after, I was so big when I got pregnant. I was like breathing and putting on weight. I don't know how many people can actually relate to this over here who are mothers, but like literally I was like, my God, I put on 20 24 kilos or 23 kilos or something. And I'm sitting there 20 kilos overweight, and I think Boria had also met me at that point when I was quite overweight, and I said, yeah, I'm going to make a comeback. And I think everybody thought I was a fool. They were like, seriously? And I'm sitting there 20 kilos overweight, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make a comeback, and I'm going to play at the best, the biggest stage again. And one of the reasons for that was obviously my personal interest in doing it, but also the fact that I think we come from a large majority of society where they believe that once you become a mother, your life almost ends, and it's all about the child. Like everything is about the child. Everything is about not giving that self-love to yourself. And I think that it's very important to realize that becoming a mother is a brand new life. It's not the end of a life. And I think that if I inspired even one mother, a young mother, to do what she loved after she had a kid, if I inspired one mother to love herself for that 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day and do something for herself, because all the mothers here will understand that our priority becomes kids, and we almost forget ourselves in the process, especially in the initial years of being a mom. So I think that for me, making that comeback was to try to inspire as many women as possible to try and believe in themselves and actually live for themselves as well, as long as they are doing the other duties too. And also, when somebody tells me I can't do something, then I have to do it. So I was told many times that "Arey, tujhse to nahi hoga bhai, tu kahan se 20 kilo lose karke?" I was like, well, 4 months later I had lost 26 kilos. So that is just who I am as a person, I guess. And so all those things were something that really inspired me to come back and to try and set at least some kind of example.
Nikhat, that's why sort of the two of you are role models. Like, I mean, every time I've seen Champ, I felt inspired. Every time I've seen you, and I've told you guys this, I mean, it sort of allows us this self-belief. In India, we don't have champions, and now the ultimate prize for you. I mean, we will all put pressure on you. We will put pressure come 4 months, trust me. Because World Championship, each time I said to you, Nikhat, World Champion, no, this is not the end goal. The end goal is 24 Paris. What is it like? I mean, you're living that dream, but when the media starts putting pressure, you're there, the country will expect. Tell me.
Obviously, as I said in every interview, that my ultimate dream is winning an Olympic medal for my country. And definitely I'll gonna give my 100%, more than 100%. And I know there will be a lot of pressure on me for this Paris Olympics, but I'll take that in a positive way, and I'll keep my focus only on boxing and give everything. So, and also I told you before at Asian Games that before Olympics, I'm gonna live all my, I'll be logged out from all my social media accounts so that I can only focus on boxing and win medal for my country.
But I used to do that also, actually. I used to log out of all my social media before any of the big games, because, as we know, we become a very sport-obsessed country 2 months before the Olympics, and all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, we have to come back with 25 medals, and then 2 months later forget about it again. So, but I used to just log out, and that's the best way to do it, trust me.
Sania, how did you deal with social media? Because 20 years earlier, this was not there. I mean, the whole social media issue about trolls, you're not, controversies have happened with you, with all of us, and each time again you've inspired. When you were body shamed, when the 26 kilos, the 23 kilos, you were body shamed each time during motherhood. How did you deal with that? Where did you get that inner resilience from?
I dealt with it with a lot of humor, to be very honest. For me, social media is just a small part of my life, because I understand that, we live in a day and age where we can't do without social media, because that's the sort of need of the hour. But honestly, I don't take social media very seriously. For me, it is not something that, I'll read a bad comment, I'm like, oh my God, it has broken my day. That never happens to me. Yeah, I mean, as a human being, you do feel bad maybe for a moment or something, and then you feel bad for that person, because you just feel like, my God, he must be such a loser. He's sitting on hating on a person that he doesn't even know. So you honestly have to take social media with a pinch of salt, and or a fist of salt sometimes. And for me, I've also grown up in an era where there were there was no social media. Yes, Nikhat, there used to be an era like that where we didn't have to deal with everyday question marks about who we are, what we do, what we wear, how we look, how we eat. And nobody really knew what we were doing. There were no Instagram stories, there was nothing, right? We had lived an anonymous sort of life, at least our private life. And so for me, I know the way it feels to live without it, and I know the way it feels to live with it, and we have to move ahead with time. So you get on social media, but trust me, I don't think social media should make or break anybody's day, because it really doesn't deserve that much acknowledgement.
Does it impact you, Nikhat, at all? I mean, the social media?
Not at all, not at all. Because, I mean, of course, I love to post photos and reels on Instagram. I am only active on Instagram. Other apps is managed by my team. So I don't care what people talk about me on social media until and unless, you know, my own family member is criticizing me. But then, yeah, I don't give much importance to social media.